All right, everybody. In this video, we are going to be looking at one of three lessons on three different types of coordinates that are used in CAD systems. And this is not just an AutoCAD thing, but this is pretty much any CAD software out there. It's kind of based off of these coordinate systems. Okay, and that'll make more sense to us as we go. But before we get into it too deep, we need to just review some simple math things that you probably did way back in school. At some point, I'm sure everybody has seen this. You may not remember what it was called, but this is called the Cartesian coordinate system. And it was kind of a grid that you used in math, and you had two axes, right? You had a x-axis that ran horizontally and a y-axis that ran vertically, and we kind of plot points around this grid and we keep track of those points. All right, so that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. But this, as we're going to see in a few minutes, I'll explain more. This is kind of what makes CAD software work, whether you realize it or not. This is what's going on behind the scenes of any of our CAD software. But let's kind of do a quick review on this Cartesian coordinate system. For one thing, we got these two x and y axes that we're talking about. And if you remember where the two come together at, where the two intersect, is called your origin point. And the coordinates for that origin point is just 0, 0, or 0 on the x, 0 on the y. So that's the origin of everything. And then we're going to be dealing with, like I said today in this video, we're going to be looking at what's called absolute coordinates. All right? Absolute coordinates is where are you in space relative to the origin point. Okay, and that'll make more sense again as we get there. So let's just try a couple. Let's say, let me copy this point we got here. Let's say we got a point floating right in there somewhere. Didn't mean to move my origin. Let's just do a copy on it. Say we got a point sitting right in there. Okay. What would the absolute coordinate of that point be? Well, all we're doing, just real simple, is where are we from 0? Just how many steps are we taking? If you want to think about walking. But it's got to be in this format. It's always going to be x-axis first, comma, y-axis. So when we do that, real simple, how far over are we on the x? 1, 2, 3 on the x, and then we're going up 1, 2 on the y. So 3, 2. So the absolute coordinate of that point would be 3, 2. Just that easy. Let's do another one back over here in this quadrant. These are called, let me put one over here somewhere. Something like that. These are called quadrants, by the way, each one of these little areas. So if we're back here, where are we from the x? Let me go ahead and copy a piece of text over there. So from our origin point, this time we're going backwards. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4 negatively. We're going negative on the x, so negative 4, and then we're going up 1, right? So the absolute coordinate would be negative 4, comma, positive 1. Okay? Simple. Like I said, you all did this before, I'm sure, back in some math classes, probably back in elementary school even maybe. All right, let's do one more. Let's get down into this quadrant down in here. Let's say we're right in here somewhere. Try to line it up. All right. So we are 1, 2, we're negative from the origin point still. We're negative 1, negative 2 on the x, and then we're down 1, 2, 3 on the y, right? So negative 2 on the x, and then negative 3 on the y. Pretty easy, right? Negative 2 on the x, comma, negative 3 on the y. Piece of cake, right? We could plot points all over this thing, and all we're doing is stepping it off. Where are we from 0? So these are, again, absolute coordinates, means where are you from the origin point. That's all it is. Okay? So now that we know that, like we were saying earlier, this is kind of important for different reasons because, again, this is what's going on behind the scenes of all CAD software. You can't see this grid, but kind of the way you want to think of it, behind this black screen is this Cartesian coordinate system. As a matter of fact, you notice as I move my mouse around, look right down here. This is our coordinates right here. So as I move, you see how that's changing? It's given an x, comma, y coordinate from where 0, 0 is in your drawing. And that's how these CAD systems are able to do all this nice commands and everything for us. When we do a move or a rotate or a copy or any of these things, it's manipulating those coordinates in a blink of an eye to get, what we want done. Also, it's important because it's out in the industry. You need to understand these coordinate systems because it's used in like CNC type machining. It's used with 3D printing like we do in the classroom. All of that is based off of coordinates. That's how these machines know where to cut or where to print things, because it's just stealing these coordinates out of your drawing and feeding them over into these machines. All right, so crucial. You're not going to be drawing like we're going to do today with absolute coordinates all the time, but again, you need to understand it for CAD certification one of these days and for those other reasons that we mentioned. So the best way that we can see if you understand it is if you can draw with it. If you can draw something with absolute coordinates, then we know for sure you understand how they work, okay? So that's kind of what we're going to do. That's where we're headed here. Let's look down here at this little example we've got. We've got just this little simple shape, and I've got some links on here. These numbers are the links of our lines that we want to draw this thing to. So our first step is going to be, we're going to figure out what the absolute coordinates of these points are, and then we're going to draw it using those, okay? So I'm going to turn on the coordinates. Already got some listed here. And we're going to come in here and just fill in these coordinate blanks here. So we're starting this drawing on the origin point, 0, 0. And if we're just wanting to come over, draw a line straight over 4, what would the absolute coordinate be? Well, just super simple. From 0, we're coming 4 over on the x. Are we going up or down on the y anywhere? No, we're not. We're just staying flat, right? So the coordinate of that point would be 4, 0. We keep on trucking. We're going up to here. Where are we from the origin? We're still stepping over 4 steps on the x, and now we're going positive 3 on the y, right? 4 over, 3 up. Just that easy. 4 on the x, comma 3 on the y. Keep on trucking. Where are we from the x? Well, if we were at 4 right here on the x and we add on another 3, that would get us to 7 on the x, right? 4 plus a 3 more, we'd be 7 over from the origin point. And if we're at 3 on the y right here, we're 3 up, we haven't changed anything. We're still 3 up from the origin point, right? So 7, 3. All right, let's keep trucking. And notice we can just use the math. If our numbers are right here, we can just keep using these numbers to go. So on the x, are we changing anything on the x? Nope. We're still 4 plus 3. We're still 7 over on the x. Comma. But we were at 3 on the y, and now we're going up an extra 2, right? So 3 plus 2, 5 on the y. Okay? Now just keep doing simple math. If we're at 7 on the x right here, and we back up 5 steps, 7 minus 5, we must be at 2 on the x, comma, and we haven't changed our y coordinate. We're still up here at 5, right? We haven't gone up or down any, so we're 5 on the y. Keep on trucking around through here. Our x, we're 2 on the x right here, and of course we can even see it from 0. We can see it real easy. We're coming over 2, right? So that's why our 2 is making sense right here. So we're still at 2 on the x, comma. Where are we at on the y? We were at 5. we're stepping down 1, so we'd be at 4, which again makes sense because from 0 we're coming up 4 this way, right? So 4 on the Y. All right, then we're going to back up one more time. We're at 2, we're backing up 2, so we must be back at 0 on the X again, right? We're 0 on the X. Comma, and then we're already up. We're up 4, right? All right, just that simple. Don't overthink it. That's, if you can get that, then we got it made. All right, it's just where are you from 0 and doing some real simple math, adding and subtracting. All right, now that we got the coordinates figured out, let's see if we can draw that thing using those coordinates. All right, here's how we do that. Real simple. We're going to go line. This icon down here represents 0. That right there is where our 0 is in AutoCAD. So we're just going to tell it first point. We're going to actually enter that absolute coordinate of 0, 0. Going to snap right to our line, and then we're just going to go around this thing. So our next point, and here's the only thing you have to remember, if we're going to give AutoCAD an absolute coordinate, we have to do a Shift 3 on your keyboard, and it brings up that little pound symbol or hashtag symbol. We call it pound in CAD. And that tells AutoCAD, hey, I'm getting ready to give you an absolute coordinate. And that's a big deal, because if you leave that out, you're going to get something way off. So our next coordinate is 4, 0, right? And then we're just going to form this thing. Shift 3. Our next point is 4, 3. Our next point is 7, 3. So just remember to keep going back to that pound symbol. 7, 3. Pound. 7, 5. Like so. I want to show you something. We can keep trucking, but let's say we messed up. Say we messed up right here and went the wrong direction or typed something in wrong, and our line ended up going way out this way somewhere. This is where we've got this nice undo down here. We can undo, and that just backs us back up 1 step, okay? Be careful though, don't hit this undo up here, or it's going to undo that whole string of lines that we just got through putting in, okay? That's the difference, this undo down here. All right, so now we're ready to go to 2, 5, right? So pound, 2, 5, pound symbol, 2, 4, pound symbol, 0, 4, and look where we're at, right back to 0, 0. Oops, didn't take it, did it? Pound, 0, 0. There we go. And there we have it, okay? So like I said, you know, we won't be drawing like that every time, as you're going to find out real soon. We're not going to be having to figure that out. But for now, we've got to make sure you understand these absolute coordinates. And like I said, the best way of doing that is if you can draw something like this. If you can draw this, then we know for sure you understand what absolute coordinates mean, okay? All right, I think that's got us for this one. So just remember Cartesian coordinate system, how this all works and how it plays into all of our CAD systems and 3D printing and CNC machines and all those things. It is very important out in industry. All right, that'll do us for this video.